Kyle Evans. Grow with Kyle Evans.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the internet. Welcome back, Thundercat, to another episode of Grow Your Daily Checkup from the Neck Up. Kyle Evans coming to you bright and early as always. Guys, this week has been a good one, man. This week we've been on this arc of setting the tone, making sure that 2026 is the year that we desire, is the year that we hope for. And one of the things that we've been doing this week is seeking to move from intention to decision, seeking to move from best laid plans to actual reality. The last 2 days we've been internal, right? We talked about drawing a line in the sand. We talked about having standards over suggestions. We told the truth. We got accurate. We audited ourselves yesterday, our health, our wealth, our relationships. Today, we're going to get public with that audit. Today, we're going to talk about one of the things that comes up and one of the pillars of my coaching. If you've been on a one-on-one call with me, you've probably heard me say this ad nauseum. I get it. It's your calendar. It's your calendar. We can't get away from it. I'm sorry. It's one of the foundational principles of life. Nothing reveals your alignment. Nothing reveals your destiny faster than how you spend your time. I love you. I mean it, but it's a fact, Jack. We can talk about values all day. We can journal our intentions every night or every morning, download our thoughts and our feelings. We can say the right things to the right people. Lord knows we can do that. We can look good on social media, but our calendar is keeping the receipts. Our calendar tells the truth. Our calendar tells the truth of where we've been. Our calendar tells the truth of who we're becoming. I think most people, I know most people, they live in intentions. Most people have the best of intentions. I firmly believe that. I think most people, love it or hate it, are good. They have good thoughts, good dreams, good hopes. They say things like, I value my family. My health matters. I want to grow. Maybe you, someone close to you, your company have said some things like, this year is different. That's good intentions. Intentions feel sincere, but they also require nothing. Intentions feel sincere, but they require nothing. Guys, evidence lives somewhere else. I'm sorry. Evidence lives in the time blocks. Evidence lives in the starts, in the stops, in what survived pressure or inconvenience. Research into human behavior consistently shows this gap, intention versus evidence. When people are asked what they value, it usually clusters pretty tightly around some sort of self-identity, right? But more often than not, when they track what people actually spend their time on, it isn't tightly. It's massive. It's spread out. What I mean by this is most people genuinely believe something about themselves, about how they spend their time, but they repeatedly live something else. Gary Keller says it very succinctly when he says, do your audios match your videos? Is what you saying matching what you doing? I don't think people live this separation to be dishonest, not because they're bad. I think they live it because it's unexamined. I, I think most people's audios and visuals don't match because they never actually slow down and pay attention to their calendar. Where did I spend my time? Not where do I think, where do I feel I spent my time? Where did I actually spend my time? Where did the minutes go? Where did the hours go? That examination is what we're talking about this morning. You see, most people avoid their calendar. They do, but they don't do it maybe why you think or the excuse that you've heard or maybe that you tell yourself. We don't avoid our calendar because we're too busy. We avoid our calendar because it eliminates ambiguity. Come on now, people. I'm talking to you today. We avoid our calendar because it eliminates ambiguity. Ambiguity is where excuses thrive. They do. Guys, calendars, they force you to confront your trade-offs. They force you to confront your choices. Every single yes displaces something else. Everything you say yes to, you're saying no to something else, and your calendar keeps those receipts. That's uncomfortable. Guys, again, as always, I'm talking with you, not at you. I, by no means, am perfect in this. By no means. I'm better than the average bear through intentional time and practice, but I'm definitely not perfect. This is something that we are in this journey together in. Guys, when time is vague, responsibility is vague. When time is visible, responsibility has an address. We can point to it. We can look at it. We can stand up and be counted on. It's one of the reasons that I've been doing my best and still am working on it to stop saying things like I'm busy. I'm busy is ambiguous. It feels safer than saying I chose. Guys, time doesn't disappear. Time gets allocated. It gets allocated. An allocation reveals what your allegiance stands for. I want you to understand what the data shows. When we look at time studies, they consistently find, and I have to look at my own self when I talk about this data here, they consistently find that people overestimate how intentionally they use their time by 30 to 40%. Woof. That's getting close to half. People overestimate how intentionally they spent their day by 30 to 40%, not because they're lying. Again, people have great intentions. It's not because they're lying or there's some sort of malfeasance present. It's because they're guessing. It's because they're guessing. We feel productive. We feel busy, but feeling is not tracking. And if you're anything like me, tracking is boring. And that's one of the reasons I don't like to do it. But it's necessary regardless. Here's the part that really stings. Modern attention research shows that people unlock their phones anywhere between 100 to 200 times per day. Not how much time they spend on it, because that's gross in itself, but they touch, reach for, unlock, look at their phone hundreds of times a day. That's not a discipline problem. It's an avoidance strategy. Because distraction is the most socially acceptable way to not just sit with your life, to not face the thing, to not do the thing. Distraction keeps us stuck. Put that information next to the calendar. When someone says, I don't have time, what they usually mean, because there are some people who are super busy. I see you. I love you. I got it. You are the outlier. You're not the rule. But when most people say, I don't have time, what they're usually saying is, I didn't defend my time. I filled space so I didn't have to feel tension. I stayed reactive instead of proactive. I lived in distraction. Busy sounds noble. Busy sounds productive. But busy is often passive. Like, I want you to get that. Passive living feels exhausting. This is why calendars feel confrontational. They do. They don't argue. They don't soften. What you see is what you get. They don't care what you meant. They don't care what you intended to do. They just show the behavior. They just show the behavior. Behavior exposes your actual identity. Let me talk to you now. Behavior exposes your actual identity. What you think becomes what you do. What you do becomes your life. I want you to look at your real week, not your best week, not your aspirational week, your real one. Where did your best hours of the day go? Where'd they go? What got protected? What got rushed? What got canceled first? What got pushed off for another time? Does your calendar reflect who you say you're becoming? Or does your calendar reflect who you've been tolerating? As always, I want to be very clear. It's not about guilt. It's not about shame. It's about awareness. It's about leverage. Guys, once you see the pattern, you can't interrupt it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. But you got to go look, because we can't fix what we refuse to look at. Happy Wednesday. We're bringing nothing but truth bombs this morning to set you up. We've got to stop living in the lie of I'm busy. Let's dismantle this phrase. Busy is not a diagnosis. It's a deflection. Busy hides decisions. No, I'm too busy to think about that. I'm too busy to do this, too busy to... No, you ain't. No, you ain't. When you look at the research on cognitive load, it shows that decision fatigue increases dramatically when people lack, get this, pre-decided rules about their time. Decision fatigue increases dramatically when people lack pre-decided rules about their time. When everything is negotiable, everything is draining. Think about that. Tattoo that on your brain. Put it on your heart. Guys, when everything is negotiable, everything is draining. It's one of the reasons I wear black all the time. Cuts down on decision fatigue. And let's just be honest, looks good. I'm busy keeps you blameless. It does. Truth. Looking at your calendar gives your power back. Lets you be accountable. One of the things that I can't unhear is that A coach once told me when I started to get into this calendar practice and learn this skill, that's what it is, learn this skill. The coach said, I know what you respect by what you protect. I know, I can tell, I can see the truth of your life in what you respect by what you protect. You don't discover what you respect by what you say. You discover it by what you protect. What doesn't get canceled? What stays consistent? What do you do when you don't want to? What do you do when you feel tired? Certain people, certain routines, certain commitments, certain meetings, things get protected always. What are they, though? Protection equals respect. Everything else is optional. Like, be honest. If something matters, it gets defended. If your kids got to go to the hospital, you're not like, walk it off, champ. You find a way because it matters. If something matters, it gets defended. If it doesn't, it gets squeezed, it gets pushed off, it gets rescheduled. This is why resentment forms. We start resenting the things that are stealing our time. But they ain't stealing our time because we never protected that time in the first place. That's not their fault. That's a boundary problem. The truth of the matter is, everybody carries 3 calendars. That's it. 3 calendars. Their ideal calendar, what they wish, what they hope their life would look like. They carry their public calendar, what everyone else sees, what we tell the social medias and the interwebs, and then their actual calendar, what actually happened. Now, I don't even care about one of them, the public calendar. I don't care what everyone sees. What I care about is what you want your life to look like and what's actually happening. Because your growth, personal and professional, spiritual, healthy, financial, your growth is going to be the process of shrinking the gap between your ideal calendar and your actual calendar. Not perfectly, ain't no such thing, but intentionally. Can we take small steps? Can we just do the thing? That's going to be the difference between a life by design and a life by default. That's going to be the difference between a life of regret and one of joy, achievement, success, whatever that looks like for you. But we got to force that alignment, because more often than not, if your life is anything like mine, alignment don't just happen. It takes intentional action, not just intentional thought. Remember yesterday we talked about our audit, finding the lowest number on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 1 being not doing it, 10 being crushing it, right? What was the lowest number from your health, from your time spent, from your relationships, your finances, your energy? What was that lowest number? When you identify that one, I want you to ask the question, where does this show up or fail to show up on my calendar? If health was your low number, where's movement missing? If relationships were low, where is your presence absent? If energy was low, is there actual recovery time scheduled, blocked, protected on there? Guys, here's the key. The reason I said pick your lowest number, not all of them, is because alignment is not addition first, it's subtraction. Gary Keller taught me that. He said, man, if you want the biggest wins, you have to go really small first. Addition actually happens from subtraction first. You don't add discipline, you remove chaos. We've got to remove the chaos and protect our time. We have to schedule it, block it. Our brain treats scheduled time as a contract, as an obligation. Unscheduled intention feels optional. That's why when push comes to shove, we don't do our intentions. We do our contracts. Your calendar is not just a productivity tool. Like legit at its core, at its foundational level, your calendar is simply a behavioral agreement with yourself. And here's the truth. Every broken agreement erodes your self-trust. Every broken agreement erodes your self-confidence. Every broken agreement chips away at your identity. Not the one on social media, the one that you carry to the pillow every night. That's why people feel tired, even when they're not doing much. Broken promises drain energy. Broken promises drain momentum. I don't need you to be perfect. I don't need a perfect week. I don't need a perfect calendar. I need a protected one. What's the one block, the one thing, as Jay Papasan likes to say, what is the one thing that you can protect this week that can start moving us in the right direction? What is the one block, the one protection? We need to start to understand this Wednesday morning that our calendar is not our enemy. It's simply a truth teller. If you want a different life, it has to show up somewhere. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Let's start being intentionally proactive and protecting our calendar. In deed, not just in thought. In action, not just in talk. That sounded pretty smooth. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the internet, I appreciate you listening today, and I trust you took some little tasty wisdom nuggets from us. Guys, tomorrow we're going to talk about another one of my favorite topics. I'm setting this year up good, setting the tone. Tomorrow we're going to talk about choosing hard on purpose. Because alignment without discipline is going to collapse. Remember, you need to protect what you respect. Keep the promise to yourself. Onward, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
Grow with Kyle Evans.